Managed to film an updated collection video for you guys. I didn't go the extra mile to like wipe everything down, and where I stand is where I get ready, and a lot of powder goes all over from brushes and stuff. I'd always wondered if that was just me or what, but I do go through a lot of powder, but as much as I wipe it down and stuff, half of it I know ends up amongst the makeup products. So just notate that if I was like to wipe down everything that's like on the surface right next to me that's exposed, I would never been able to get this video up in a timely fashion for you guys. Also, I have got a lot of makeup. I did just declutter 6 great big bags of it, but I don't have the patience to film decluttering. And then as you guys are watching the video, if you see like certain components of the video that you would like me to go more in depth to in a separate video, let me know, like you know, opening up all the palettes on the top shelf or my high-end blush drawer or something like that, and I can try to make that happen, because it would be way too long if I tried to do that in this video. I did open up a decent amount of products, but obviously not everything. And then too, I had used a camera to do the blue toolbox to start out with, and it was really heavy, and I don't have the proper like tripod to try to set it and then film it with 2 hands and stuff like that. My wrist was just not having it. So I was like, well, wait a minute. My iPhone, the newer one, has got a really good camera on it. So I filmed part of it, the blue chest, on a camera, and then I switched to my iPhone, and it was just so much easier to do it on the iPhone. So there might be a little bit of an audio adjustment in there. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Standing in the door here, so this is what it looks like when you first walk into the room right here, and we'll kind of just go over here. I still have the same stuff in here. I've contemplated getting new stuff, but I haven't found anything that I like more than what I already have. So Glamcore and Viper Tool Storage is primarily it. So over here is House of Sillage. I have purchased several of these myself, and I've also been sent some in PR. I love their fragrances. I have got backups of several, and then also the bow tie lipstick cases right there. I love their diamond powder lipsticks too. And I got a little salt lamp pair of dolphins, a Bose speaker to jam out, a replica diffuser by the fireplace, which is kind of hard to get, but I love that in here. And then these are all hand mirrors in this drawer. Flower Nose, Fluorasis. This one here is from Japan. Don't use hand mirrors too often, but I seem to have accumulated quite the collection of them for not using them that much. And then backup perfumes, smaller perfumes, old perfumes in this drawer. This is a backup of Annick Goutal Nuit et Confidences, which, oh my goodness. And then some travel sprays that go in those House of Sillage ones up there. So that's that drawer. Grab the ottoman there to stand on so that you guys can kind of get a better angle. I try like heck to keep up on the dust, because I guess I must get a little wild with the face powder. I use up a lot of face powder, but a lot of it ends up all over in this room, to be honest with you. But it's just a never-ending battle. So anyway, if you see some dust, I try my best. But we've got Dior highlighter quads. This is the newest one right here. Some older Becca palettes, which I love these. That's why they're on this kind of top shelf right here, because I do really love those. Some Benefit face palettes. This is an older highlighter palette from Odin's Eye, which is just stunning. And then we've got some Pat McGrath. These ones here are Menagerie singles. There is a yellow dandelion blush in there. I just pulled them out of the compacts. It is just stunning. These are all Baked Gelée formulas. I guess I should mention this is all face up here. And then we've got some older Wayne Goss blush and highlighter duos that are really pretty. Some more Pat McGrath Aether Beauty. I love those face palettes, but I don't know if they do them anymore. I'm not sure what's going on with that brand. You guys know I love that highlighter, and I've got several backups of that guy. We've got some Blend Bunny, a super ancient Too Faced bronzer book right there. A little Estee Lauder palette, which how beautiful is that guy? And then these here are the Patrick Ta Cream and Powder palettes. There are 3 of those. These guys here are the new Rem Beauty Wicked face palettes, which are so beautiful. YSL blush palette from Holiday this year. And then I've got another one of these, which is in kind of my daily use drawer, but these are the Fluorasis palettes, which are just beautiful. Whoa. Super stunning formula. stunning packaging as well. Laura Mercier, Natasha Denona. This face palette from Fantasy Cosmetica is absolutely stunning. It's got some highlighters and some blush kind of shades in there. This one too, I'm going to say this about a lot of this stuff, so I should just probably stop now. The Amy Loves face palette from Adept Cosmetics, and then we've got the Melt palette, a very old KVD one. The colors in there are stunning. Menagerie blush palette, another Adept Cosmetics, and then these are Benefit, these three right here. And then these guys right here are all Nars. Which hopefully it's not too dark over in this corner here, but just a bunch of Nars face palettes. How pretty is that? Okay. Just stunning stuff there. And then these ones are the smaller kind of quads on this side. Right here. Looks a little dark in this corner. Hopefully it's not too dark, but look at how pretty that is. We've got both of those. And then these guys right here are all Hourglass. The newer kind of funner packaging Hourglass palettes. And then I've got a Lonely Only Baked Gelée Christian Louboutin face palette as well, which this is beautiful. Right there. And then if I open up this top drawer, I don't really use anything in here. It's all quite old, except for these Wet n Wild ones. They're not that old. They sent me the whole collection not that long ago. But just some kind of pretty packaging and unique colors. I will still use these. You guys will see a bunch more of these on the top of my lip drawer. These MAC patent polished lip pencils. I absolutely love those things. I really wish MAC would bring them back, if I'm honest. Their new Dazzle crayons are really nice. But I mentioned in my past videos about these KVD glosses, or it's Kat Von D Beauty. These ones, these are the OG, one of the first products that her line came out with. And the smell of this just does something for me. I don't use them, but every once in a while I'll crack open the tube just to smell it, because it takes me back, what is it, 12, 13, 15 years ago or something like that. These are just really cute from Besame. A little Snow White lip balm set, M, the old school M, I think back when she was working with L'Oreal, if I'm not mistaken. Just a really cute little lip balm my mom bought me. I just like the little tin, so you can kind of see right there, just some pretty packaging. Look how old those guys are right there. So I just kind of don't really use much in this drawer, if I'm honest. But, oh, this is a concealer. It's really old. It's a corrector from Urban Decay in pink. I'd been through, I don't know how many tubes of this, but they discontinued it. And I just kept it for the packaging and to kind of notate how many of those I'd been through. This next drawer isn't super exciting, but mini perfumes. And then we have got mini makeup products, and then roller balls and some larger mini perfumes. I always joke about how small of a makeup bag I could actually pack based off of what's in here. Setting powders, blushes, bronzers, eyeshadows, like all little tiny things. I'll show you one of the cutest things that's in here. Is this itty bitty Chanel Le Beige. Isn't that cute? So cute. So that is that drawer right there. And then this guy right here, it's got stuff that I would use in there, but there's a lot of quite old stuff. Over here, I think I've just used a few of the terracotta ones, but all of these have not been touched, like these tins. I was trying to put this on a tripod, but it wasn't working out. So I just took the cover off of one of these. That gold is an overspray. I have not used that, but they stopped doing these. Guerlain has, but I've got several of those guys. Like, and these ones are the wooden ones, so they have a flip top to them. That's really stunning. I just grabbed the one that's out of that box so you guys can see. This is also an overspray, which is part of the reason why I kind of never dipped into it, because it's just, I mean, it's so pretty. Then we've got some other Guerlain that I'll still use this type of stuff, but how beautiful. And then if you want to know, one of the very first, if not the first, baked gelée product is from Guerlain. This is the Meteorites Cruel Gardenia. It is very old. The grid, I wonder if I'm going to be able to open this one-handed. It's a twist off. I'm going to have to set the camera down to show you guys. So that is what Cruel Gardenia looks like. And when these baked gelée products first started coming out, they had a very distinct smell. It had to have been something coming from the ingredients. So I can smell this, and it also takes me back to a very specific place. Like I purchased this at the Guerlain boutique at the Palazzo in Las Vegas. So yeah, the fun times were had. Oh, and I was like, I remember they had a bunch of these in stock at that boutique, but it was sold out online everywhere, and I was contemplating buying a couple of them, but I didn't. Now I kind of wish I did. But anyway, one of the first, if not the first, baked gelée products right there from Guerlain. There's a couple more of the terracotta, and then there is the Guerlain highlighting palette, which smells like the old Meteorites, which is just divine. And here's some of these larger compacts, which also have a beautiful embossing in them. So this was a gold highlighter that I did use, and this is also baked gelée right there. And then we have got the Rocobar Hermes Horse Blush, and then I do have this Lancome, excuse me. This was also really hard to get your hands on, and then when I got it, it was so anticlimactic. It looks really pretty, but it's just a fake flower like you would get at the craft store, coated with like a shimmer powder. Which does not warrant how much it costed, but it still, I guess, looks quite pretty. So that's what that is. That was another sellout item that was quite hard to get. There's a little limited edition Chantecaille highlighter back there, which is a dupe for others, so I left the embossing untouched on that guy. And then some Clé de Peau highlighters right there. This is a beautiful limited edition compact from last Christmas. And then some old school kind of Chanel and Clinique. This is another product that's ancient, like ancient, but I had fun times with this product. I remember wearing this on New Year's, like, I mean, 15 plus years ago, and I just loved how bronze and glowy it made my skin, something I'll never part with. And then this is another Chantecaille. It used to be my favorite highlighter back when you couldn't find highlighters that were light enough for my skin. So it's not very shiny, but it was light, and it had a slight pearl in it. I'm really struggling opening stuff. This is what it looks like inside. It is called the Les Pétales de Rose Illuminating Powder. And then this is another like product. I had seen Sam Chapman on her YouTube video many years ago use this, and I just had to have it. It's from Clinique, but the rest of these are Chanel. Oh gosh, I'm gonna make a mess out of these drawers. Fix it later. Look at these. So these were all the rage back in the day as well. These are from Dior. This one here is the Amber Diamond, and then I have the pink one as well back there, but come on. Those are some of the most shimmery highlighters you get at the time as well. And then here's the pink one. I have got dips on the lighter ends because, again, a shimmery light powder was hard to find back in the day, and then you could use like the pink side for more like a blush. But that one is the pink diamond, or rose diamond, I guess I should say. And then we've got some cute little stuff from Bobbi Brown. That's not that old. And Bobbi Brown Burberry. Burberry also made one of my all-time favorite highlighters. I think I have a fresh unused one in my other highlighter drawer because I'll still put that on my face. I love the smell of it too, but some of these limited edition ones were baked gelée. Just stunning. Stunning, stunning. I'm going to say that so many times during this video, I just know it. That was a holiday one. Got a little bow in there. And then where's that other one? There's one I'm trying to, it must be this last one right here. Burberry had some good stuff back in the day. Oh, maybe it was the bow one. So I've got like 3 of these shades, and then we've got some Charlotte Tilbury right here. Norman Parkinson. I had to have this collection. I just had to. And it's just kind of a glowy powder right there. But look at that compact. The rubber, I think, has gotten a little bit of yellow to it, but it's still very pretty. And then we have got some, again, old Kat Von D. This is the old packaging. These here went over very poorly. They were actually terrible, really hard pressed, except for these two. I purchased all of them and then I returned the other 4 because I mean they were so stiff, but these two I was able to make work, so I kept those 2. And then we've got some Lancome. These were limited edition. Oh, I wish I would never use this. There was a really beautiful overspray, as you can see there. It was a baked gelée. I had to order that, I think, out of Canada or something. Same with this one. Stunning. That was an overspray as well. What was underneath was super anticlimactic compared to what it looked like with the overspray, right? And then these are just some little shimmer cubes, but I love this little tin from Lancome. And then this one here, I don't think I've ever used. It is beautiful. Sorry, my watch. Look at that. And then this last one, which is also baked gelée, kind of a dupe for the Guerlain. Really beautiful though. We're just going to close that and fix it later. And then this top drawer here, again, a lot of old stuff. For the most part, I'll still use any of this on my face, and I'll grab for some of this every now and again too, and I don't really have any issues. I always check texture, smell, all that type of stuff, you know. Powders last a heck of a lot longer than creams and stuff like that. This is where I've got my square MAC compacts right here. So I've got my round ones in a different drawer. Riri. This one's still in the box. That compact is beautiful. Selena. Oh my goodness. Another boxed Rihanna, never been used. Mariah Carey sparkle powder. That one there I believe is Silver Dusk. MAC Silver Dusk. These were my favorite. Well, this particular one I believe is the top one. Love. I still love this. I'll still use this. It's baked gelée. One of the best face products that MAC has done in the holiday collection, in my opinion. And then I have the other one too. I just hadn't used this one as much, or have I used it at all? It's a little bit deeper. And then there's a little MAC Silver Aura powder right there. And then some more MAC. This here, I just love the compact. I don't know anything really about this brand. It's just kind of shimmery bronze gold powder. I really like the Lion King. I love the packaging. This one here is a Smashbox. Right there kind of looks like Lancome a little bit, but same thing with this one, Smashbox. And then, what's that guy? Oh gosh, this was one of the very first baked gelées as well. This was an eyeshadow that Sephora did, and I used it as a highlighter. And there are highlighters to this day that come out just like this that I love as highlighters. So this was like so before its time, I feel like. It was, again, it was intended for an eyeshadow, but I used it as a highlighter. And then these here, Becca highlighters and Becca blushes. Makeup Forever highlighter. Josie Maran used to do cosmetics. This was a bronzer. It was my favorite at one time. Cargo. I don't know where they're at, but this is another product I've got a lot of crazy memories with. You can see how much I've used of that. This side is kind of hard pan, but kind of the same vein as that Clinique one with the bronze red undertone. I love a sunburnt bronze. Victoria's Secret also had baked gelée back in the day, sort of before its time. Some bronzer. Stila. A Buxom blush. Pretty Vulgar highlighter. Oh gosh, look at this. Tokidoki. They used to be carried at Sephora. Such a cool brand. Illamasqua, another one. Cool brand. Don't know where they're at, but Too Faced right here. And a Sayate. Random Sayate. Jessica Rabbit. And then Too Faced. And then these are all Estee Lauder. A lot of these are baked gelée. Heatwave. Who remembers Heatwave? This was a pinky one. Where is the Heatwave? This is the collaboration that Estee Lauder did with Victoria Beckham. Right here. Ah. Beautiful. I think this one is Heatwave right here. Yeah. And then this was like a sister spin-off brand. It was still Estee Lauder, but it was like this different kind of a deal. I can't remember off the top of my head what they called it, but that's a really pretty baked highlighter. And then more Estee Lauder. Over here, old school bronzers. I wanted to open like this one, I think. It was the one. I used to purchase these every summer when they came out. It was one of my favorite things. And it's really hard to find makeup counters inside of like department stores around here. It's just like Sephora or Ulta. So I used to love that. I used to love going to the makeup counters. I know in bigger cities and stuff they still have those, like in Macy's and Nordstrom's, but I don't have that type of stuff around here. But oh, these are some other good, some oldies but goodies. Kind of like the Dior powders. So this one is a pink one, and then there's a bronze one right there. So some old face products in that drawer right there. This is all drugstore eye products. So this whole kind of deal right here is a mixture of face and eye products, but this is all my drugstore stuff. This drawer used to be completely filled to the brim with all Wet n Wild. I did declutter a ton of stuff, but I kept like some of the packaging so that I have got differentiations between new and old packaging. Like, you guys want to see some old Wet n Wild packaging. Look at that guy. Got a Fergie one in there. Some more Fergie ones right there. And then here's another really old packaged Wet n Wild trio right there. And then some more trios, 6 pans. These are really old too. Such good quality though for, I mean, and again, all of these products, I think probably the only ones I wouldn't put on my eyes or face are these old packaged ones like this. Otherwise, I mean, they're still holding strong. And then we've got some little Sally's. Look at that. Itty bitty trio. And then these here, I still have these. They're old. They like, you can like slide these off and make your own palette and stuff like that. There's a bunch of them. I just can't bring it myself to get rid of these. I did get rid of like half of them, but I still have a bunch of them. And there's a Revlon CoverGirl, Milani, some more Wet n Wild CoverGirl. And then here's another ancient quad that I can't bear to get rid of. I love that. I'm telling you, 20, maybe 20 years ago. Crazy. And then here's some newer ones. I love the color stories in those for drugstore. And then over here, some newer stuff. This is Essence. These palettes are quite pretty. Not bad quality either for the price. I like, when I was using them, they weren't that like wonderful. They were nice, but not wonderful. But I always loved the looks that came out of those palettes. And then here's some newer Wet n Wild ones. Essence, Lion King, Elf. Some larger Elf ones and larger Wet n Wild ones back here. These are the big, like, 15 pan palettes. Fun, right? Care Bears. So that is that drawer right there. And then moving further down, these are like large face palettes. I just love a lot of these products, man. So Pat McGrath Baked Highlighter Trio. These are all beautiful Benefit face palettes. This is just a bunch of little random guys. There's Chantecaille, I think Ofra, Sydney Grace, like highlighters, blushes in that one. Deep Potted Cargo. And then that one in the corner I think is Physicians Formula palette. A really old Sephora one that has the most beautiful pinks. Pinks are everywhere right now, but when those came out, they weren't. Makeup Forever singles, and those ones are Lethal singles. It's getting some glare off of there, but magnetic palettes. And then we've got Tarte palettes. This was a Sephora face palette, which, how cute is that, right? Kat Von D, some Jeffree Star back there. And then there is this palette right here is an older Adept Cosmetics one that has got some ColourPop singles in it. And then we've got, these are Jaclyn Hill. These are beautiful blush palettes. There's 2 of them. A Lime Crime one that the colors in this here, I just cannot bear to part with it. It's quite old, but I just actually used this the other day. Still works great. Beautiful color story. Same with this Adept Cosmetics one. I love these products in here, the bronzers and the blush and the highlighter. They don't make it anymore, but... And then a really old B&H with some super cool highlight colors in there, which B&H again is no longer around. These were Tarte's big blush books, which were awesome. Like, super good bang for your buck, too. These are full-size Tarte blushes, and there are 3 of them that I've got. Crazy, right? And they're magnetic as well, so you can take them out and put them in a different palette or something. And then I had 2 of these, but I gave one of them to my mom. They were really similar holiday palettes that came out, which were very cool as well. Double-sided Tarte blushes and highlighters. Oh, so I just have 1 of those right now, and then some other little face palettes there. Oh, whoa. And then this drawer here is primarily pretty old. I'm gonna need to get the little ottoman to sit on, I think. So we've got some older Hourglass face palettes over here. Like, this is the marbled one, the ghost one. I think this was the first 6-pan that they ever did. And then some older Nars, which I just can't even with some of the packaging. Like, how beautiful is that? And then I should show you guys. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I should show you guys. There's the Stephen Klein one. Where is the Guy Bourdon? Right there. I have the one before that as well. Packaging actually isn't as sticky as I thought it would be for as old as it is. People went crazy for this back in the day. It's called the Dan Mari palette. Relics. There are relics in this room. And then we've got some Urban Decay. That is a Sephora palette with some really cool colors. Some Too Faced, Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kits, Jouer, more Too Faced. We've got some Viseart in the older packaging, Urban Decay, in the Jean-Michel Basquiat face palette, old Urban Decay, right in there. We've also got some MAC, Pixie. This is a beautiful Besame packaged Sleeping Beauty face palette, House of Sillage, Too Faced palette. Right there, Sephora, Wet n Wild, MAC. I just can't bear to get rid of this guy because the packaging is so cute. And then Tom Ford with these. I just have nowhere else to put these. It's kind of like a misfit drawer of things that don't fit other places. These are face and eye palettes from Tom Ford. These were so expensive back in the day. Nowadays, they don't seem like they were that much money. I think they're like 110. Which, yeah, that's a lot of money, but like the price of the price of makeup now is crazy. So that's a face one. Let me grab an eye one. I think this is eye one. Right there, eye and face. Super old. I'm just making a mess of these drawers. Hourglass, Sigma, some Pat McGrath, Bridgerton. Again, like I didn't have anywhere to really put that. Some Clinique baked blushes. Look at that, Divergent and Sephora. That came in a set with I think 3 palettes. I think that's the only one I have left. Some old school Becca. There's the Jaclyn Hill Wet n Wild palette. Becca. Oh, this is MAC. This is a MAC face palette. It looks like a CD. Tarina Tarantino. That's old. Laura Mercier, that's not that old. This was really nice from Revolution Beauty, the Simpsons palette. Really pretty blush bronzer and highlighter in there. So that is that drawer. I had everything lined so nicely and I'm just like destroying things, whatever. And so I actually put this on top of this drawer. It usually sits in the back, but I wanted you guys to see it. So this is ancient. This is from Sigma. It is, I believe it was Sigma's first actual palette because they used to only do brushes. But I also think this is the first ever like influencer collab palette right here. Now like collabs are all over the place, but this was the first. And I believe Sigma was the one who like started sending influencer places too. So they sent 8, I think, influencers to Paris for this palette. But I'm going to read the names off on the back for you guys so you guys can see. And maybe some of you guys remember these influencers. Dulce Candy, From Head to Toe, MAC NC40, Makeup by Tiffany D, Peachrelude, X Sparkage, and Christina. So There's 7 of them. Crazy. So I left that on top so you guys can see it. It's cool. And then this is what's in this store. A lot of old stuff. Some stuff that isn't so old. Like I've got all the Kylie Cosmetics in there. M Cosmetics. I did declutter a bunch of these, but I still have quite a few left. Tarina Tarantino. Super cool packaging. Those are the Sephora eye palettes that kind of go with that unicorn one. Smashbox. These are really old from Sigma as well. Super awesome pastel palettes back in the day. They had really great blushes as well. And then Pretty Vulgar. I love these palettes, these Pretty Vulgar ones. Again, I don't know where that brand is at, but I gotta show you something else that's really ancient back here from Cargo. So these were in the back, the very, very back of the drawer, so I had to pause real quick. This was an eyeshadow palette. I got these at Sephora. Products, again, I want to say between 15 and 20 years old. These Cargo palettes. And then this one here, face and eye, blush and bronzer. And these are still good. They don't smell. The quality is still good. The powder is actually, they don't feel dry when you swatch them or anything. And it's crazy for them to be like that, being as old as they are. But those are just cool. This brand here was Unicorn Cosmetics. It's an eyeshadow palette. Curtis Rajkovic is the artist who has the paintings in the back of the room that you guys can see. I've got a string of them. I switch them up every now and again, but I love his artwork. And he did this artwork on a Unicorn Cosmetics palette. So that's kind of why I bought it. The quality's not super wonderful, but I love the artwork there. And we've got some old school B&H. That palette was awesome for a holiday palette. We've got some Estee Lauder. This is the other Divergent palette that I've got. Sephora. I want to say that Hourglass made the products. It's not Hourglass brand, but I remember back then that's what I had heard. Lime Crime. Look at this guy. So that is that drawer. Here's the Chloe Morello and Sayate. I love that palette. Another Tarina Tarantino back there. So that is that drawer, and that concludes the blue one. So this is what is on top of the original pink box. These over here are also from the same brand that makes the original pink box. They just call this one the original pink box because it's pink. Otherwise it's Viper tool storage. But up on top of here, I've just got lipsticks that are in use. Some of these do have some age on them, but I do check these periodically. If they've gone off or anything like that, they either get tossed, or if they're like a limited edition or a special color that's like inspiring, or it has like special packaging or something like that, then I'll move them to a lower drawer. So primarily everything up here is something that I would reach for and still use. So I've got a lot of MAC lipsticks over here, and I have got clear tops on those. I bought them, I think, on Amazon or something, so you can see the colors easier. There's some other MAC lipsticks, the newer ones over here, and I think there's one right here, but a little all over the place. And then some, I've got a Snob and a Cream Cup in the old versions right there. I'm almost done using up 2 older ones that I have like that. But these are the Patent Polish lip pencils that, again, one of my favorite products from MAC. And I wish that they would come back with them. The new Dazzle lips are really good too, as mentioned. But this is Vanellope. She's still there. I've got some Dior, Rem Beauty, MAC, Melt Cosmetics, Louis Vuitton, Besame, Isamaya, Hung Van Gogh, Fenty Beauty, some of the new Kaleido stuff, Too Faced back there. And then we've got some of the stick stuff over here, Chantecaille, Urban Decay, Tom Ford. I've gotten rid of quite a few of my Tom Ford lipsticks because they have gone off. The ones that are still there are good. And then we've got Lisa Eldridge, Gucci, Fluorasis, Charlotte Tilbury, Chanel, Dior. These back here are House of Sillage refills that go in the bow tie lipstick. This is one of my favorite shades. I think it's Nude Sakura in there, so I just keep it up there. We've got a little bit of Becca in there as well. Tarte, Victoria Beckham, Lancome, and then these, I love these Dazzle lips from MAC. So that is kind of the top shelf of lipstick products right there. And then the next drawer down is not lipstick products, but this drawer, it's shallow, so it fits potted shadows really well, and I really like to see these laid out so that I reach for them more, and they're upside down so I can see the color. So some of these got a little bit of age on them, but they're powder products. They last for a really long time. So you've got Victoria Beckham, some Charlotte Tilbury's. These are quite old, but they're still good. Sugar Pill, Ensley Rain, Artist Couture. What do we got? Some Pat McGrath back there, Valentino, Tarte, KVD, that's beautiful. Some Kylie Cosmetics, old Marc Jacobs, which are still great. And then I just can't bear to get rid of these old Giorgio Armani pots. These are some of the coolest. They're still good. They're a little dry, but back in the day, these were just everything. Compared to some of the stuff coming out now, they may fall a little flat in comparison because makeup's just gotten so good. But again, I've got so many of those. Are the eyes to kill. So that is the top drawer right there. And then moving one more down, this is lip gloss, lip balms, lip oils. So we've got some Flower Nose, Nomad Cosmetics, Pixie, Too Faced, Fluorasis. This is all ColourPop. We've got some e.l.f. lip oils right there. I love those Essence Juicy Balms. Fenty in the back. Pat McGrath, Charlotte Tilbury, Paul & Joe, MAC, Louis Vuitton Refill, Too Faced. And then we've got some Cali Ray, which I like that SPF for the summertime. Lisa Eldridge by Terry. There's some Kaleidos over there, and then the tubed ones over here, which the Paula's Choice peptides are awesome. Dior, these are awesome here from Essence as well. Peach and Lily are great. Just some really, really good lip products in here. I really like these Beauty Stat SPF ones too, and the colors on those are just stunning. So that is that drawer. And then the third smaller drawer on the top is kind of a mix of things. So stuff with special packaging that I just don't want to get rid of, that I probably won't wear, or colors that I don't wear as often that are still good. We've got some lip oils, like those are good. I don't have no room very much in the upper drawer, so they kind of is like an overflow down here. And then we've got some lip stains, some old Too Faced products where the colors in the formulations are quite unique, so I just hang on to those. I don't really use them. A little Flower Nose in there. This is a beautiful lipstick from Guerlain that came out from the holidays a while ago. I just love the packaging. It's got snowflakes on there. We've got some potted lip balms. So yeah, like Overflow, Charlotte Tilbury. This here is an old Gucci lipstick from when they first launched the brand. And then the embossing, the Gucci emblem around the tube. The color and the smell is still as the day that I got it. It's funny because when I had ordered this, the package had come and it was really hot outside, and we were in the fields hauling hay that day. Square bills. So that's funny. That reminds me of that day, this lipstick. So yeah, some really old Maybelline. There's a lipstick in here. I think it's this guy right here. It's Ancient. That I had been through so many of them. I just can't bear to get rid of it. And look, it doesn't really even look any different, and it's very old. That's actually just from hitting the side of the packaging, but I think it's A50. Yeah, that's a really old lipstick. You got some Revlon lip butters back here. Those were everything back in the day as well. Some older Urban Decay lipsticks with the special packaging. That is from the Game of Thrones collection. Besame, some Overflow, House of Sillage, Pat McGrath, Flower Nose, L'Oreal back there. Those are really nice. And then a lot of limited edition special kind of MAC lipsticks on this side as well. Got a little Dior in here. These Paul & Joe ones I had to have because of the cases on them. They're horses. Well, that one's not aligned, but yeah. So that is the third drawer down on the smaller top chest right there. And then getting into the larger portion underneath the top chest there, this first drawer is all round MAC face products. So there's bronzers, blushes, highlighters. A lot of these are pretty old. I would still use everything in this drawer. There's like smell. Some of the mineralized ones are a little bit dry, but they are a baked product, you know, mineralized baked product. But I mean, some just beautiful stuff. Marilyn Monroe, To the Beach. This thing here, I never could bring myself to put a brush in this and get rid of the overspray of the seahorse. I just would use the side there. This was one of my favorite collections that MAC ever did. Marilyn, and this also, Liberty of London. I just think this packaging is so pretty. And then Mariah Carey. You got Disney villains, Maleficent, Hey Sailor, can't remember, some highlighters. Archie's Girls, The Simpsons. I can't remember the name of that collection either. That was a beach collection as well. But I mean, Max Compacts, man, I really feel like they're the ones who started it all, especially with like collabs and stuff like that. But just beautiful stuff. Selena, Cinderella, Aladdin. Look at how pretty that packaging is. I think I still have some overspray on this one as well. Oh, it's just so pretty. Yeah, I used just a bit on the corner. And then I look at it and I'm like, I should have just never touched it. This one I have in the normal packaging, so I never did touch this one either because the embossing on this, oh, so beautiful. And then we've got some Aaliyah, another To the Beach bronzer. This guy here, I believe, wait, no, up here, Stereo Rose, yep. This was so sought after. It was a limited edition. It sold out so fast. People were paying crazy prices, I think, on eBay and stuff for it, and then they came back out with it, and it sold out pretty fast again, but that was like a cult product from them. Then you've got mineralized blushes, normal blushes, and then the baked gelée ones, which these are so beautiful. And then MAC did this thing where I think they call it like MAC Underground or something like that. It didn't last very long, but they came out with like a limited edition product for a set amount of time or something, and this was one of them. You had to be like signed up for the email and some other things, but this is one of the most beautiful products, face products, highlighters I feel that MAC has ever done, and I use it sparingly. I kick myself because I wish I had another one. It is just, isn't it stunning? What is it called? It is called Precious Extra Dimension Skin Finish, and it is precious. Just some beautiful blushes in here as well. I love the Extra Dimension Baked Gelée blushes from MAC too. So that is the MAC drawer right there. And then below that one is yet another blush drawer. You've got some Bare Minerals, What's Up Beauty. These are really pretty. What's Up Beauty does some beautiful products. M Cosmetics, Singe, Ansley Reen, Pat McGrath, Lancome, Hung Van Gogh, Melt Cosmetics, House Labs, Flower Nose, Odin's Eye, and then these are all Flower Nose. So you can kind of see how long I've been doing Flower Nose. Like, I had to buy this off of an Asian beauty site because you couldn't get them statewide when I first started purchasing from them, but their packaging is just stunning. Too Faced, Fenty, the new Huda Beauty. This guy here is, I believe, a little Sigma guy, Fluorasis, CL, Glossier, a little RMS, Rem Beauty, Tarte, older House Labs. That's when they were on Amazon, but those are baked gelée that are beautiful. I love these Sephora blushes. Sayate, you got some Clinique back there, which were, and I still love those blushes. They're baked gelée as well. And then from the back all the way forward right here are all Benefit. Then we've got a Rare Beauty, Makeup by Mario, Tower 28, Rare Beauty. Those are, I guess, out of order. Ilia, Kosas, and then these guys right here are Kaleidos, and then some old school Lorac, a really old Sigma blush right there from the Macaroon, I think, collection, and then Pretty Vulgar back there. The packaging on that is really pretty. So that is that drawer. And then if we go one more down, oh, what do you know? More blushes. This is just a mix of both high-end, some older stuff, and quite a bit of drugstore that's in there. So you've got some Melt, Essence. I love, love, love these blushes from Lawless. Revolution, Give Beauty. I really like that. I don't know where that, I think that brand's gone now, but Jaclyn Hill, Almay, really old BH blushes, but they're really pretty. Nomad Cosmetics, a old Flower Beauty that's a powder, but when you touch it, it turns into a cream. It's just a gnarly product to have. Wet n Wild, Revolution. This is all Wet n Wild right there. Some Pixie, CoverGirl, NYX. Those are ombre blushes that are stunning. Urban Decay, Gemma Kid. This is like OG Elf. Can't bear to get rid of that. Same with this one here, Smashbox. I'll still use this. This was one of my favorite blushes for so long. It was a slightly shimmery baby pink, which were very hard to find way back when. They're kind of everywhere now, but Melt Cosmetics, Glamlight, one of my all-time faves. Stila, this was another one, kind of before its time in terms of pink blushes. Very, very hot pink. This is very old. This here is Anasui. There's a blush, a coral blush in there that I love. House Labs when it was again on Amazon, and then Glamlight. I love this Juvia's Place orange blush duo right there too. Besame, these are some of my favorite blushes in my entire collection. These two from Moira, they're so punchy on the cheeks, and they're quite unique on as well. I love those. A Nabla blush, we've got some Vive in there, L'Oreal, some more Essence. These are ZC. I love Revolution, and Old School Physicians Formula, which used to be my all-time favorite. Again, highlights, light highlights, sparkly highlights were really hard to find back in the day, but I had been through several of those, so I just hang on to one. And then as you can see in the other drawer, I do have a depotted one as well, but these are all ColourPop right here. There's some faves in there as well. Natasha Denona, Old School Marc Jacobs, a Patrick Ta, very old school Marc Jacobs, old Kevin Aquan, Natasha Denona, Cover Effects, the Balm, and then some Revlon. Some old, what are these ones again? Hard candy ones. I don't think they make those anymore. Almay, some more Cargo, which are quite old, Physicians Formula. And then these right here are all Asian brands with the cutest packaging and unique kind of colors. I think I got those most of them off of Chic Decent, which is where I had purchased a lot of Flower Nose from too before you could kind of get them in the States. But NYX right here, Sonia Kashuk, haha, those are old, still love them. And then Bare Minerals right here. This is a really old Stila Shadow that's a pretty blush. An old Maybelline, and then a really old Lily Lolo Loose blush right there. So that is the third blush drawer down. Face products, I guess. And then the one below that is kind of another mixed bag. This one's deeper, so it's got a lot of larger compacts because they just fit better in here. On this side is just a bunch of random blushes, highlighters, bronzers. This is a stunning highlighter from Glamlight, but it's like in this funny container. And then back here is quite a bit of contour products. We've got Flower Nose, Laura Mercier, the Old School Shade and Light from Kat Von D, Cargo, Kevin Aqua. This is a beautiful palette. I don't think they make it anymore from Revolution. I've been through some of those. And then these guys here, again with the Flower Nose. This was one of the older collections. Look at how cute that is. So I've got all of these. I think there are 6 of them total. The very first pressed blushes that ColourPop ever did. These duos right here. Charlotte Tilbury, highlighter, Gold Bar, Kaleidos. Back there, some MAC that are more like contour type products as well. Anastasia Beverly Hills, Givenchy, Laura Mercier, Give Me Glow, Jaclyn Hill, Clinique, Pat McGrath, Ferasis, Tom Ford, Fenty, right there. Some more Pat McGrath. And then these are some giant Wet n Wild ones that just, again, they're a big compact. And then on the other half of the drawer is all creams, blushes, highlighters, some bronzers, some old package stuff in the back. Again, I've got two kind of designated sections for cream stuff. I really like to pay attention to the creams, and I don't like to put them where I can't see them very much, because I'll forget about them, and again, they go off a little bit sooner. So this is the cream section that I have in a drawer. The other portion you'll see in just a minute up top, but there's some foundations in here that I really like. Fluorasis, Elf, that new Wonder Skin, Naked Sundays. These are Fluorasis cream, excuse me, Flower Nose cream blushes. Super Shock from ColourPop. Love these Fenty cream blushes. A real old school MAC cream right there. And then some Pixie, Pat McGrath. These are really nice too from the drugstore. The Burst blushes. A CoverGirl super old Nars. This is still good. It doesn't smell or anything, which is funny. And then Silver Factory. Oh my gosh. The movie with Sienna Miller. I just love that collection, the whole bit about it. But one size, a little bit of Wet n Wild, an old Illamasqua that's just the prettiest sheen. I don't use that one. It's old. A little Lancome one with the cute tin. Super old YSL cream. Can't bear to get rid of it. An old Guerlain one as well. It's a Maya. This one here is also Naked Sundays. I just put those down there. They're quite thick, those ones. They're not that old though, but that portion is creams, and then this is larger, more hard to store kind of compacts, powder products on that side. So that is that kind of larger drawer. And then, oh, this came open. This drawer is primarily synthetic brushes, and then we've got some brow and liner brushes in here as well. Not nuts about how this is laid out. These are too tall to kind of fit, so I have to lay them down. I've got some Sonia G cloths that I use for like switching colors on brushes. Is kind of how I love to use those microfiber cloths. And then there are some sponges back here too, some backup sponges that I use for foundation, but primarily synthetic brushes in here. And then I do have this older, this is from Chikuhodo. This is such a special little limited edition brush that I got a while ago. It is a kabuki made out of, I believe it's 4 or 5 different types of wood. I've never used it. I've just kept it in its little silk box. This is so pretty. So that is that bottom drawer. That there is an old holiday brush from Wayne Goss. It's huge. It's like super long. Super cool though. I just keep it again nicely in this little box. And then the KVD or Kat Von D brushes are double-ended too, so they don't like, sit in a jar. I just keep those in their little coffin casing. So that is the last drawer in the smaller pink box right there. And then moving from the pink box to the Viper in the lime green. So where I'm standing right now filming this is right where I stand to put my makeup on. I can't turn the camera because the lights in the mirror, it's just gonna like blow it out. But this is primarily what's on the left side, and I use the kind of shelf right here and over there, and sometimes I pull these drawers out to set my iPad on if I want to watch something, or where I set stuff for the hauls or whatever. And the dust, like I said, I get a little wild with the powder. I know I go through a lot of powder, but I as much as I wipe it down in here, half of it ends up all over in this room. I just can't keep up with the powder dust. Let me know if you're in the same boat as me, or is that just me? So, I mean, I did just wipe some of this stuff off again, like I do. I do it pretty frequently, but it still just kind of gets all over the place. But I've got Q-tips right there, brow stuff. This is like easy reach stuff that I use like a lot, cream Dior sticks, which I love those. This I just pulled out of the bottom drawer because this is a fun one for like the holidays. You just shake up the bottle and there's these beautiful little sparkles in it. It's a discontinued product from Fenty, but I thought I would pull it out. CL cream blushes, which I love. Some melt shadows, eyeliners. These here from Violette FR. I love these. See, with the dust situation, right? I love these as eyeliners. I just use an eyeliner brush to put them on. The Ardell Brow Glue. Love Duo Lash Glue. These are nude sharpenable pencils kind of colors in this one. These are twist up pencils, and then we've got kind of pinks and reds, and then a little section with kind of the orange ones, lip liners up on top right there. And then Dr. Dart, Merit, and I think there's a gosh, what's this one in the back? Tinted is that one. Foundation, BB cream stuff, Versed foundation, which is beautiful, and Auric highlighter, which I like to mix in with foundations. I love this from Laura Mercier. This is their tinted natural dewy SPF 30. That has more coverage than a tinted moisturizer, and it's really pretty. Some Flower Nose highlighters, face sprays. These back here are all liquid liners, and then these ones here are pencil liners from Kaleidos. I love those. I have been loving to accent the lower lash line with those. And then I love these liners from Wet n Wild. I wish they would stick around forever. These are stunning, stunning eyeshadows from Fluorasis. I keep those there handy as well. Some more liquid liners. And then we've got some shadow sticks up there. And then you can't see it, but there's a Sonia G brush holder, the Cranes Over Mount Fuji back there. And that's where I've got makeup brushes. Not the most ideal, but it's very functional because you can't see the beautiful, you know, Cranes Over Mount Fuji. Charlotte Tilbury. These are all cream products right here. So again, I like to keep them out to, you know, grab for them. You've got bronzers, blushes. I think there's a highlighter in there. Anastasia Beverly Hills, Patrick Ta, Revolution, some Maybelline, Smashbox, Too Faced, ColourPop. These over here are the Glow Recipe. These ones right here are the Melt. See this powder, man. The Melt Jelly Sticks. These are beautiful too from Revolution. Some Victoria Beckham, ColourPop, Too Faced, NYX. Some highlight palettes over here as well as a blush palette. Some glitter toppers. I use that fan because I douse my face with face spray. And then I use that to fan my face to help it kind of set. But mascaras back there, colored mascaras, glitter mascaras, different brands of mascaras. So that is like my go-to reach for stuff, and it's just right to the left of me from where I stand to film and where I get ready, which is right over here. And then on this little section here, which also is a dust collector, I'm almost going to hit you guys in the light, so hopefully I don't get too far over. Really large eyeshadow, magnetic eyeshadow palettes with singles in them that are just beautiful. Like if I could hold this phone and open those at the same time, I would love to do that for you guys. But Cleona Makeup Forever. We've got Adept Cosmetics in there that I've depotted out of some palettes. Terra Moons. Just some beautiful stuff in there. And these are the Victoria Beckham quads that I just put in a magnetic palette for ease of use. Some really pretty shimmery shadows from a couple different brands in there. And then this here is almost used up, so I have it out so I can use it up. And then I do have a backup of it as well, and I'll just bust that out. But that's what that looks like. I don't use this one. I can't get it to work as a blush on me either. Then it's too dark for a highlighter. It just looks very unflattering on the cheek. So that is that kind of top portion right there. And then below that, the other trays, that's all stuff that I use. That there's Kleenexes back there, and then everything else is stuff that is for the haul. So I put the packaging in there and stuff like that so that it's ready for when I do the haul video. And then if I back up just a little bit here, there's my Sonia G cloth that I have in use right there where I wipe off makeup brushes and stuff like that. I don't want to tilt you upwards again because of the lights, but this is stuff that I have in use. So there's a Vive powder that's almost gone, the Guerlain Meteorites, the brush that I use with the powder to set my neck, the Flower Nose under eye setting powder, a couple lip liners, some number 7 foundation that's almost gone, as well as some MAC lipsticks. And then my little favorite go-to combination is the MAC Skin Finish and this Jane Iredale foundation. I've been obsessed with that lately. So I gotta back up here. I have that MAC brush cleaner sitting there because I lean it up against my tripod to help my camera stabilize. And I don't ever really use that much, but it's quite old. I use it for weight. And then as you can see, I mean, the dust just really accumulates there because I stand there, swatch things there, get ready there, all that type of thing. But so that is over there by the window. And then if we turn over here, these are the best things. I wish that they were still available because they're super, super cool. Especially they stick to my toolboxes so well. These are pencil liners, ones that last decently on the waterline for me if I'm going to use like a pencil liner. Otherwise, you guys know I use the KVD pomade. That one over there holds my makeup sponge. These are the liner and brow products that I have in use. So I've got the little spatula and liner brush, brow pencils, and then brow markers. And then I brush my brows out with that. So that's that top one. And then tools, scissors for lashes, tweezers. I actually use this giant fingernail clipper a lot because it's so precise and sharp to trim eyelashes. So that's what's on the side. Gearing up to move into the large. This is the large pink box. I've got a little Chanel holiday box up there. How funny, I almost forgot the rest of this Viper drawer. I went over to the big one. Circling back, we did this guy and then I spaced out the rest of this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this drawer here collects a lot of dust. I tend to leave this open all the time. This is concealers, my favorite Essence kind of powder for shine. So I spritz my face a whole bunch with a setting mist and then I powder like the T-zone and it just works out great. Been using it for a really long time. Lash curler that I use on false lashes, the lash box to put my lashes back in, Lumify to brighten my eyes up, and then this Fluorescence one. So I just hauled this product, and then my mom really liked the looks of it, so I told her to take it home as well as the eyeshadow palette with the really pretty purples, and then she ordered the products because she really liked them and just kept mine, and then she actually got the restock of the special packaging, and this is so beautiful. The products in here are stunning. So now I have the kind of different special collection packaging on that guy right there. This is my Huda Beauty mess of powder right here. I've been mixing two shades. I accidentally ordered Pound Cake, so I've been mixing it with what's the pink one, to kind of almost turn it into Cupcake because I want to go through those. So that's a mixture. And then I dump the rest of almost the tail end of a pink one in there and I just mix it up. Clé de Peau Holiday, I've been using it as a kind of finishing powder every now and again. It's got some nice shine to it. This is very old. Still works the same. The mirror is kind of falls out of it, but Chanel Notorious, one of the most beautiful natural looking shadow contours ever. I've actually got backups of that. Some bone shadows back there from Kevyn Aucoin and Wet n Wild, and then again with concealers right there, and then the gel liner that I use almost every single day, and then a contour concealer right there as well, and then my shadow primer right there. And then this guy here is single shadows primarily. I think these are all single shadows. So you got Chantecaille, Nars, Clinique, cat hair on my finger, Burberry, Estee Lauder, Bobbi Brown, how cute, Tokidoki on there, Shu Uemura, look how cute these are, Choupette, right? Is that the, yeah, Choupette, so cute. Chanel, which these are super pretty too. Whoop. Big Gilet. Some of the OG Gucci singles, Ensley Rain, these are face products that don't work so great as highlighters, but they're prettier on the eyes. Really old Estee Lauder Victoria Beckham collab, Kevyn Aucoin, Tom Ford. This is one of the worst single eyeshadows in existence. I actually got this in New York City, and they actually gave me the wrong shade. I didn't want this shade, but this is the shade that they got, and I didn't like check it in the store. I just, bought it and left. But this is terrible. So I keep it just to tell the tale. Some Urban Decay, really old Pat McGrath, and then over here we've got Urban Decay Boondust ZC with the kitties, Natasha Denona singles. These guys here are Paul and Joe with kitties on there, and then Anna Sui, Charlotte Tilbury, Jill Stewart, Old School Lime Crime, and then the bento. Is that these? What are these? The bento boxes, right? Is that what they're called? Kaja. Right there. So that is that drawer. And then below that is also kind of like single stuff. We've got a Kaleidos eyeshadow primer, ColourPop, Super Shocks, Give Beauty. Oh, I've got some lit. This is not a glitter. This is more like a shadow. And then that there is a highlighter, but it's very bright. It doesn't work on the face for me, so it's in here for an eyeshadow. Some really old MAC singles. Tarina Tarantino, some Jeffree Stars, and this here is really pretty from JD Glow. but I'm not going to put that on my face. It's a little too blue. And then Odin's Eye, Pretty Vulgar, Kaleidos, MAC Pigments. Ugh. MAC Pigments. Some more MAC singles right there. And then these guys are pretty old too, but loose, crushed. I think they were called the crushed, right? Crushed metallic pigments. There's 2 in each of these. So that is that drawer. So that's the top 3 drawers of the green Viper storage. And then the one below that, this drawer also gets left open a lot. And I leave it open to set like haul stuff on too. So, because this isn't that wide, this front part. And this catches so much powder. So I didn't go through and wipe this all down because I know I'm just going to do it again because I just leave it open all the time. But highlighters, I use all of these highlighters. We've got Dior, Jeffree Star, NARS, JD Glow, ZC. This is beautiful. This is a little Asian beauty brand that I got from, I believe, Chic Decent. These are the Half Magic. Those are beautiful. Fenty, NYX, Florasis, Question Beauty, another brand I got off Chic Decent. Tarte, Go-Go Tails got off Chic Decent, I believe, or Alpha something or another. All Super Shock highlighters. These are all Flower Nose highlighters. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful stuff. As well as these Odin's Eye. Beautiful. And these Kaleidos. Beautiful. Natasha Denona. Ooh, what is this? Sugar Drizzle. Ansley Rain. KVD. This Patrick Star Eye Duo I use as a highlighter. Aether Beauty used to be my absolute favorite. I use that a lot on the eyes. This is another Asian beauty brand. This is a Too Faced shadow. That's a beautiful face highlighter. This guy here I never reach for on the eyes, so I started just mixing all the shades together and using it as a face highlight, and it's so pretty. A giant Chanel highlighter, which is stunning. Scooby-Doo and Glamlight, I love this. Essence, Catrice, ZC, can't remember. Maybelline, Revlon, Anastasia Beverly Hills, Chanel. What's Up Beauty. This is all the way out. I think there's a Bobbi Brown or... Oh, this is that Burberry one I was telling you guys about from the other drawer. This is brand new. It smells... Oh, the smell of this takes me back. It doesn't look really sparkly. It looks like nothing compared to the highlighters, the rest of the highlighters in here. But at the time, again, it was light enough, had this beautiful sheen. I'd been through several of these. I've got quite a few of these in the backup drawer. And the smell of this takes me back to a time, man. It's so pretty. This is called Nude Radiance #1 right there. So that is that drawer right there. Don't mind the dust. And then below that drawer are blushes. This is a real deep drawer. I had to kind of lean back on my stool here before I get up close. I think that this would be a fun video for me to do, to open up every single one of these. So many beautiful products in here. So we've got Burberry, Chanel. This thing doesn't fit anywhere very well, so it just sits on top. We've got Tom Ford, NARS. These are the NARS Baked Gelée ones. Tom Ford, NARS. Up here we've got YSL. Look at. And then these here are very, very, very old YSL. Very old. Some Givenchy, Guerlain, Sisley Lushi de Rose, and there's another Givenchy blush in there. And then this I keep in here. This is that really pretty Dior. The compact's got a white fabric, and I don't want to get it like destroyed. Look at how pretty that is. So I just keep it in there to try to keep it from, see, the pouch has already got like, you know, makeup dust on it. Then we've got YSL, some more Dior, 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 Dior. All the versions of the Dior from way back. Gucci, love those. Charlotte Tilbury right here, very old Gucci. These are the same old school packaging back there. There are some Dior blushes in here that are just like jaw-dropping, stunning, limited edition, like heavy tin packaging, old school packaging, just very, very pretty. And then this whole row right here is Jill Stewart. I love those blushes, still love those blushes. Solasu, Hourglass, Valentino, right here. Those are beautiful. Chantecaille, Anna Sui. Look at this. Oh my gosh. These blushes are so pretty. They're so pretty. Heavily fragranced with rose, but they're so pretty. And then these are like loose. This one isn't. These are loose boxes. That's a Guerlain. Paul and Joe right here. Some really old Illamasqua. One of those used to be my absolute favorite baby pinks. I'd still use it. Paul and Joe. Look at this packaging. I gotta show you guys one of these. I don't use these that much because they all have a kitty print in them. These guys right here. And then we've got the horse packaging. Look at this one. Oh, it's so cute. Some more Paul and Joe. These blushes are beautiful. And then up here we've got some by Terry and some little Chantecaille. And then a Charlotte Tilbury. This is a blush and bronze in that one right there. But this drawer, man, there are some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blushes in this drawer. I just love it. And then below that one is bronzers. Quite a few. I've been trying not to buy a bunch of bronzers because I have so many good ones in here. So ZC, Dior, this one is Chantecaille, Goa, Sephora, Estee Lauder, Guerlain, MAC. Why is this guy in here? Why are you in here? I don't know why you're not in the MAC drawer. But anyway, MAC, La Mer, and these are all Guerlain. Let's look at this. Whoa. Let me open this. Ah! It's magnetized. This one I have used. It's pressed pretty hard, so you can see that there is some kind of hard pan forming on there. But these are the Guerlain ones that I've used a decent bit, so I just keep them in there, and then I keep the other pristine ones in the other drawer. This is a giant Pixie Blush Bronzer. The bronzer in that's got this beautiful pink undertone. Then we've got Tom Ford Terra and Tom Ford Golden something, Marc Jacobs, Givenchy, Charlotte Tilbury, Too Faced, Wet n Wild, Tinted, Fenty. This is really shiny, but it's so pretty on the skin, man. This Fenty kind of bronzer. Estee Lauder, some Nars ones. These What's Up Beauty bronzers. I love these. The tones of those are so nice. And then these are older Guerlain Meteorites in the Doré shade number 4. And I'm going to probably purchase a fresh one of these because these have the old violet smell. And again, it's just a nostalgic thing for me, and I'll put these in my other drawer. But this has been one of my favorite bronzers. It's so pretty and light and easy to use. And you guys know I love the Meteorites already anyway. So that's why this is in there. That's actually what I've been using a lot for bronzer lately. What's Up? This is a face powder that's really pretty bronzer as well. Becca, Gucci, old school Gucci, Too Faced, Clarins, very old Wet n Wild. I'd been through several of those duos. The bronze shade in that is stunning. Lancome, Estee Lauder, Victoria Beckham collab, Benefit, Besame. This is a really nice little contour palette that I got from, I think, Chic Decent, another Asian brand, Laura Mercier. These Laura Mercier bronzers, again, stunning. I can wear every shade. It just depends on how heavy-handed I can or can't be with them. Sorry, my hand was kind of in the frame there, but this is Flower Nose. How cute, right? It's a little contour palette. Very, very cool toned right there. Very natural, pretty cool tone. Victoria Beckham, Charlotte Tilbury, Vive, Wayne Goss, Maybelline. This is a beautiful trio from Maybelline. I don't know if they still make it, but I've been through, like, I think 2 full sizes of that. Kevin Aqua by Terry. These are quite old, but they're still beautiful. Too Faced. This powder from Catrice got sent to me in PR not that long ago. Really pretty bronzer. So sheer, but nicely pigmented, and it blends out super nice. Too Faced. Dolce & Gabbana. Revlon. Pat McGrath, Kevin Aqua, those are stunning tones. Pretty Vulgar, YSL, Chanel, Catrice, Kaleidos, Cover FX, an old KVD Beauty one, a really old KVD Beauty one. Look how much I used that. And then when I got to that point, I just stopped using it, and then I keep it. Bobbi Brown, Benefit Dallas, one of my all-time faves. I've been through several full sizes of those, and then some Natasha Denona in there, as well as the Bare Minerals Warmth, which is a classic type of product. Some NYX. So that is all bronzer right there. And then below that one is a bit of a deeper drawer. This is all powder. There's pressed powder foundations, loose powders, and then also my Guerlain Meteorite collection. I'm not gonna like dive super deep into this. These are flower nose powders, which I was hoping they'd be the same as the original Circus powder that I love for underneath the eyes, but the formula is different. And then limited edition Givenchy, we got Fluorasis, Flower Nose, look at these. That's a pressed powder that's also beautiful underneath the eyes. I don't think they make it anymore. Fluorasis, and then just a ton. This is ZC, look at this. Very, very finely milled powder. An old school Dior. Jill Stewart, look at this. I got that from, I purchased it from Toshiya, who does makeup brushes from Japan. Laura Mercier foundations, Fenty powder. We've got some Guerlain in there. Charlotte Tilbury, Ulta, Laura Geller, Kosas, YSL, Chantecaille. Look how pretty that is. Jill Stewart, Kaleidos, and then again, the Guerlain Meteorite collection is also in here. Oh my gosh. Look at Champs-Élysées collection. This was back when they were 1.5 ounces or 30 grams and smelled like violets. So I got a ton of those guys. We got the giant globes in there as well. There's a giant one in a cardboard packaging down there too. These are just fun. I think these were the first ones I ever purchased right here. Wulong, right? Let me look. Paris du Dragon. Oh. I had seen Temptalia on her blog with this collection, and I thought that was the time I needed to try those, and I've been addicted ever since. So like, this here is heavy packaging. This is, wait, let me see. Yeah, this is Wulong. This is the pressed version of that same tin I just showed you guys, and that is what that looks like, and it smells like violets. It smells so good. So that is that drawer. We're not going to get too deep into that one. And then this drawer right here is also a deeper drawer, and this has got all my natural bristle brushes in here. I'm not crazy about how congested this guy is. I had two other deep drawers in here in the toolboxes full of brushes, and I got like overwhelmed, and most of those were synthetics. Actually all of those were synthetic, so I just have this drawer with all of my natural bristles. There you got Koyudo, Chikuhodo, Hakuhodo, Sonyaji, Wayne Goss. There's just some beauties, some absolute beauties in here. Some MAC ones. This is a duo fiber synthetic and natural bristle in there. So lots of limited edition ones. Oh, these are also natural bristle, which I really like these brushes too. These are the Morphe ones. But like, look at this one. That's a Koyudo brush. Sonyaji, look at these. So beautiful. Tons of eye brushes. Just beautiful. So that is the natural bristle brush drawer there. That concludes the Viper tool in the green right there. So I'm on top of the ottoman here. This is the top shelf of eyeshadow palettes in the giant pink box. So over here, we're getting the light from over here real quick, but these are all Inslee Rain and Adept Cosmetics palettes. One of my all-time favorite palettes is the Adept Cosmetics Cyborg Choir. I do have a backup of this palette. It's probably one of my most worn palettes in the last 2 years. Use it a ton this year as well as last year. I just love that palette. Then some Wicked Widow Beauty. We've got some Hindash, Cleona. These are Vive eyeshadow palettes, as well as a Terra Moons, the Ophiuchus palette. Melt Stack Shadows, Singe Beauty palettes. This is a newer Lancome one, which might hit the drawer soon. I just haven't been reaching for it. Florasis palettes, which are just works of art. And then these here are all Pat McGrath. So this top shelf, it's exposed. It's right next to where I get ready. It is a powder magnet, man. It's really hard to keep up on the powder that hits this shelf because it is exposed. But anyway, some more Cleona, NC Rain, Pat McGrath right there, the motherships. And then Tom Ford and Lisa Eldridge, two of the newer ones I just love. The new Chanel holiday palettes, I love those as well. Louboutin, Kat Von D. These right here are the Danessa Myricks, the little pastel quad. Isamea, it's got a horse on there. Let's open it up. This came out a few holidays ago. And then we've got some Melt. This here's all Charlotte Tilbury. These are the 9 pans. And then this is one of my all-time favorite palettes from Flower Nose. The looks that come out of this are just beautiful. So I've got the Swan palettes up on top right here. And then we've got some House Labs, Florasis. I can't remember that brand. That one with the dragon on it. Question Beauty, I think that one is. Glaminatrix, Danessa Myricks, one of the best palettes. I love that. Rem Beauty, Danessa Myricks. Get back over here. Melt, Hung Van Gogh, Isamea, by Rado. I gotta stop putting my hand in there because it's not focusing. Melt. Some Wayne Goss. I love these Wayne Goss palettes. Hopefully he's gonna, come up with some new stuff because I did really like his line. And then these NYX palettes I just really like the quality on those. So those are up here as well as Shroud Cosmetics, Fantasy Cosmetica, What's Up Beauty. Those are beautiful eyeshadows. What's Up? And then this guy here, what is this brand again? This is Oma Beauty. This is a beautiful palette. So nice. I'm not sure where Oma's at, but that's stunning. The formulation's great too. And there's a Mob Beauty palette that I made. And then we've got back here our Viseart palettes, magnetic ones. I've pulled a lot of the little guys, and those are in these palettes. And then these ones right here, I think are the 12 pan magnetics in the double-sided magnetic Adept palettes right there. And then behind that are some older Sephora palettes. I did declutter some of those guys, but I really get inspiration from the color stories in those ones, so I still have those hanging around. And that is the top shelf of this big box, which I frequently use. And then if we go to the little drawer, first one down, these are gel liners, cake liners, liquid liners, and then I've got some older MAC gel, and I keep waiting for those to kick the bucket, but they are still like the day that I bought them. They don't smell funny, they work the same, everything, so I hang on to them because they're still good. These are, again, water activated cake liners, or you can use the mixing medium. I really wish that this product didn't get discontinued. It's not waterproof when you mix them in there, but it's better than just water. I've been through like an entire one of those. And these are pans, single pans of cake liners. As you can see, I've used those quite a bit. And then we've got some liquid lipsticks back here and some like squeezy tubes that I use as liners as well with a brush. I use this here to mix colors on. And then Mob Beauty, I really like those cake liners, and a Morphe one, which I also like that one with cake liners in it. So that's primarily liner stuff. And then the next drawer over from that is cream shadows, a Tarte primer, shadow sticks. These ones are from Laura Mercier. A couple glitters, which I don't use that often, so I don't have very many of these gel ones. This multi-chrome from Wet n Wild is beautiful. It's a gel. And then I've got these old mascaras in here. I don't use them because they're really old, but I keep them in here because the packaging is so pretty. These were both Pretty Vulgar. Look at that. Where did Pretty Vulgar go? These are really pretty from Sydney Grace 2 cream shadows. And then potted cream shadows. The Estee Lauder ones are probably the ones that are the most like consistent to the day that I got them. And they're the oldest, I think. But these ones are still going strong. They don't smell funny or anything like that. Like I would still put those on my eyes, any of these. And then we've got some more cake liners. These are Besame ones that are colored. I think there's a black, a burgundy, and a brown. And then Laura Mercier, Makeup Forever one, some older Clinique ones, and then mixing mediums back here. You guys know my journey trying to find a waterproof mixing medium for cake liners. It's a whole thing. So that's that drawer. And then over here, brow products. Powders, which I don't use that much. I decluttered a ton of those. I've got lash glue. This is an ancient Dior palette. I've been through these, like full sizes of these. That's a wax that's got powder stuck to it. It's not like mold or anything like that. But you can see I've used that a lot. They've repackaged this. And I actually, oh, this is the repackaged one. See how much I used that? Back when I would use powders, but I think they still make it, but I don't really use those. I just use the Duo with a brow pen mostly nowadays. Urban Decay, I've got some soap brow stuff, which I was really into. Now I just use the Ardell. This is the clear and the crystal clear and some tinted versions. The original is still my favorite. The Maybelline Superlock is great. I've got a Fluorasis brow pen. Just a ton of sharpeners. I don't know why I have so many sharpeners. And some eyelash curlers, little ColourPop. Like, I'll put those little reindeer ears in my hair when I go over to my mom's on Christmas. Some mirrors, just a rando drawer with primarily eyebrow products. And then these here are actually eyebrow powders that Anastasia Beverly Hills did a very long time ago. Brow and hair product. I would ombre my brows with these different colors, and then I'd leave them like that, or I would like use a glitter gel in my brows with it. I went to a Lady Gaga concert with brows like that. I just loved it. And then the drawer below that are Tom Ford, Charlotte Tilbury, and Chanel. There are some very old Chanel products in there, and then some beautiful limited edition Charlotte Tilbury stuff. For the most part, even though some of this has got age on it, I would put any of this on my eyes. A lot of Tom Ford in there. So here, I'll just show you guys a fun one. I think these are trios. She Wolf was one of them. Oh, this is a duo. Look how much I use that. It's a Baked Gelée product. I think this is a trio. Yeah, this is She Wolf. Such beautiful taupey grays. And then we've got some really old ones in here. Let's look at this guy. This one was called Iris Bronze. That one's not that old. Let me show you. This one is Crushed Amethyst. This is one of the first ones that I got. I got this one in a green one at the fashion show mall in Vegas. First Tom Ford quads I ever purchased. So that is that drawer right there. And then the one below that, we have got Suku. And then we've got Fluorasis. And then this is all Dior. Lots and lots of Dior. Like back to when the packaging looked like this. I used to buy the holiday quads every year as well, but I will still use these as well. Like the older formula from Dior was just great. They've had a few misses, and I haven't purchased one of the newer quads recently, although I did get the holiday ones and I was kind of disappointed in those. But these are the Backstage 9 pans, and then these large Christian Dior ones. I keep this one there because the top of these are fabric and that's white, and I don't want it to get like stained up. Little pouch there, but aren't those pretty? That is the Mitza edition, like a giant Dior palette right there. So that is that guy. Suku I used to buy off of Selfridges. And then the shelf below that one, we've got some Viseart that I've kept in the palettes over here, and some Gucci. These shadows, I love the looks that I got out of them, but based off of swatches and stuff, like, you wouldn't think they were that wonderful, but I got along with the formula really well. I liked them. I enjoyed them. This one is in the pouch as well, because I was like, well, try not to scratch it up, but the packaging on that is just so beautiful. And then we've got an older Guerlain eyeshadow palette right there. And then these are ancient Guerlain. I'll show you what these look like. Still have those. This is a newer Guerlain quad. I was not crazy about that. It's a baked gelée, but you really have to build it up. And then we've got some Clé de Peau. I keep this guy in the box. The packaging on that is just so beautiful. And then some Byredo in the rock egg packaging. This one here, the quality on this purple one, I love the purple packaging, but quality could be better. A Louis Vuitton quad, Dolce & Gabbana, which these are both beautiful products. And then Old School Burberry palettes. I'll show you what these guys look like. I can get them open. One-handing is so fun. Fun, right? And then these guys here are Lisa Eldridge, and then Old School Gucci. I have them all. I don't think I had all the duos, but I do have all the quads. Look how beautiful these are. Consistency is still creamy. They're just really pretty. And then let me open up a quad for you guys too. The color stories of these are really, like, inspiring. So those are Gucci. And then over here are some pretty old YSL quads. So I just got a lot of the limited edition packaging on these that I still have. These I don't reach for that much. I'm not nuts about the quality, but I still have them. This packaging, so pretty. So that is that drawer right there. And then if we move over here, we've got two smaller drawers. This one's quite deep, and then a shallow drawer. This is very old. Not much has changed in this drawer, I think, since the last time I did a video. I almost grabbed everything in here and decluttered it once, and then I didn't. But you've got Bare Minerals Loose Shadows. The history that I have with Bare Minerals Loose Shadows is vast. So I just hang on to those. And then these L'Oreal ones, same thing. They're potted shadows. I've opened up several of them. They're just like I bought them at the store. Great quality. I collected, I think I've got every shade they ever did. Some old Makeup Geek pigments there. Tarina Tarantino. Some jarred Makeup Geek pigments. Sugar Pill M. These are old from Too Faced. Super old. These are Shu Uemura, Illamasqua. Old. And then the drawer below that one, this is all Natasha Denona. So Star Palette, these are the original OG palettes. Fun fact, before Natasha Denona was available in the US or carried anywhere, I purchased from them and they were shipped out of Tel Aviv. I don't have the original purchases anymore. I've decluttered them, but I do have at least the big palettes for sure. All of the ones that she's ever made. So that's what's in here. And then you've got the little guys up front here. I just moved these into this drawer not that long ago, so some of these still have powder on them. But that's all Natasha Denona. And then the bottom half of this pink box, I do keep locked. It's a little top heavy. I need to set something with a little height underneath it, but this is like super heavy, so I got to pull all the drawers out to do that. So I tend to lock this because the drawers will open. But this top drawer here, I wanted to swap these drawers around too and put this one a little bit lower, but it just is what it is. So I've got Revolution Beauty. This was a brand that Target carried that Revolution made over here. Really nice products from the drugstore. Some ancient pixie stuff that You guys have seen this Tinkerbell one. I just can't bear to get rid of that. And then over here is Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'd contemplated like selling, or I don't know, decluttering this entire collection because I have got every single one prior to her original, which weren't in this type of packaging that she first came out with, like I don't even know how long ago, but like you got Amrezy in here, Maya Mia, Makeup by Mario, collab. I've got all of them. So those are Anastasia Beverly Hills. Here are the little 9-pan palettes right here. And then over here is all Kim Kardashian, or what is it? KKW? Is that Beauty? Which I don't know what's going on with that brand, but quality on those shadows is really good. I've heard ColourPop made them, but some of the shadows aren't quite the same as ColourPop in my opinion, so I'm not sure. And these are ABH singles in this Makeup Forever magnetic palette right there. So that is that large drawer right there. This is a rabbit, as we can see, with eyeshadows in it from Makeup Revolution. So he stays in there as well. So you can see this willed open. But the drawer below this one here, oh, so pretty, so pretty. That is all Flower Nose. So some real OG stuff back here from Flower Nose. Look at that packaging. Isn't it just so beautiful to look at laid out? Look at these ones here. These are ones that, again, I had ordered off of a Asian beauty site. They weren't available anywhere. Makeup by Mario, Fenty, which those are hit or miss, some of those shadows. Fun fact, the limited edition one with that packaging was not made in the same country as those ones, but that one has got better quality than those ones. We got some ZC back here. Really pretty packaging. I did declutter some of these, but those are ZC. Look at how cute. Alice in Wonderland. We got some Esom. These are beautiful quality Artist Couture palettes right here. Can be a little hit or miss, the shades in some of these guys. I don't know where Artist Couture is. And then we've got some Pat McGrath, some smaller palettes down here. The quads, like the little travel guys, which are super nice. Small, curated well palettes. And then these are the 5 pans, which are super pretty. Bridgerton collab. Let's see. Just want to show you guys a couple right there. So that is that drawer right there. And then the one below that one, we've got Nars. Some quite old stuff. There may be only 1 or 2 palettes in the Nars section that I wouldn't use on my eyes. And one of them is this one. I don't know though. I might. It still looks the same, swatches the same. So this was the first ever like giant Nars palette that came out, and it was a hot commodity, man. Let's look at her. It looks like nothing in the pan, but ooh, some sultry looks can come out of this guy. So fun. Still have this. This one's got a little bit of stick to it, so you can see the, you know, sparkles and powder and stuff is stuck to it, but crazy. So again, just a ton of Nars right there. Some of these 9 pans are, well, all of them beautiful. Beautiful. I love. Some old duos are in here as well. And then these guys here are another itty bitty, well curated little travel palettes from Nars. They only did these 3. I hadn't seen any more of them. And then this palette too, which is beautiful, Baked Gelée products, the Sarah Moon. Beautiful. And then I do still have the Marc Jacobs holiday palettes. There's 3 of them. You can see one in the back there. And then these, what are they? 12, 9? No, I can't remember. How many shades are in here? Let's open one and find out. 7 pan palettes. I still have them all. Quality's still great. There was, I think, one or two that had a little bit of a miss in a limited edition collection, but for the most part, these are still good. I still like them. This cherry one, oh, it's a beauty. And then we've got some Anasui. These are little magnetic palettes. Right there. These ones are trios. Right here. And then M Cosmetics, Jouer. I went to New York with this palette here. Beautiful shimmers. Palette before its time, in my opinion. Patrick Ta, and then House Labs right there. So that is that drawer right there. And then the one below that, we have got kind of a mishmash again of misfits, smaller palettes and stuff like that. Pier, those troll palettes right here, amazing quality, super amazing quality. We've got Ilia, House of Sillage. I believe that is a ZC. No, that's a different Asian brand. I love the packaging on that. And then these are all Kaleidos. We've got an Aether Beauty back there by Terry, Rem Beauty, and Old Makeup Forever. We've got some Shu Uemura, Jane Iredale, some old Sayate, some very old Shu Uemura, some more old Sayate, Kevin Aqua. These back here are, gosh, Lorac, yeah. And then we have got some Dose of Colors. This guy here is quite old as well. An old Lancome palette. I used to have more of those. I decluttered them. And then the one right here from Lawless, that's a beautiful, like, clean palette. Lorac Unzipped palette, some more Dose of Colors, Shu Uemura, beautiful packaging. Got that at an airport. Rouge Bunny Rouge, Lancome, Lorac. This is ZC, Rabanne, Clinique, Lawless, Laura Mercier, and a really old Josie Maran, which I still have. It was at one point one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. It's very old. But that is that drawer right there. And then below that is a little bit smaller drawer. This is all MAC. A lot of good stuff in here. Giant holiday palette. Quality of this I thought was really nice. It's huge. And then a lot of palettes. This one here. A ton of wasted space in here, but talk about the craziest packaging from MAC. The Jeremy Scott collection. And there's also right here Brooke Shields. That palette sold out so fast and was so sought after. It's in this type of a packaging. These are very old MAC palettes. Things that are along the relic range again. And then these ones are a bit newer style packaging. And this is the newest style palette packaging from MAC right there. And then we've got a lot of collabs. Aaliyah, Patrick Starr, Maleficent, Cinderella, Fenty. Oh, I said Fenty. Riri. And MAC, oh, that collection was hot. Selena, we've got Stranger Things, Simpsons. These are the little quads right there. Oh, Hello Kitty. Oh my gosh. So that is all MAC right there. And then the drawer below that loves to open itself. This is all Urban Decay. There are some very, very old things in here. I'm just going to kind of give you guys a once-over in here so you can see the Urban Decay stuff. Got a lot of Urban Decay. Right here. That is the Urban Decay Naked palette. In the back there is the original that came out. It's got the double-sided 24/7 Glide-On pencil in it, not a brush. So, oh, the packaging on these. A lot of like wasted packaging for this type of concept, but it was fun at the time. I'll show you the mega deal too with all the singles that came in this huge Urban Decay. But that's all Urban Decay. And then below that is Too Faced. Whew. Some stuff in here, again, very old. I've got all of the little 9 pans back here. Oh, goes pretty deep. Some of the larger palettes. I did declutter quite a bit of stuff that just, it wasn't like nostalgic stuff. The quality wasn't that good type of thing, but some coveted pieces for me in Too Faced are these guys. Like when you open them, they crack. You can tell they're old, so I'm quite delicate with them, but that just takes me back. That palette is very old, as is this one. I really wish Too Faced would come back to this type of stuff. The imagery, it's just all beautiful. This one's also very, very old. Look at that. So some holiday palettes. Then we've got all the tins over here. More tins. This was the Kat Von D collab with Too Faced. Right there. We've got those ones. And then here's this mega palette, which, super cool palette from Too Faced. Great quality in this one. And I say that for the time it came out. But still good quality, but there's some wicked quality out there nowadays. So that there is all Too Faced. I can straighten this stuff out later. And then there's this little drawer over here that I don't open very often that has some very old things in it. Like this here. This is museum status. 20 years old for sure. Skin Lights from Revlon. This bakery brand. I got this at a Sephora at the Mall of America in Minnesota, and these drawers, man, that's why I keep it locked. I believe it was my birthday in any event, and I got this and wore it, and we went out clubbing, and there's a chocolate smell to that just really is nostalgic for me. It takes me back to that exact moment. Some really old Too Faced shimmer powder. I like this because of the packaging. It's just very cool. It's pretty vulgar, and there's a pen that goes with it. I think it might be in the brush drawer, but singles, lit glitters. I'll still use these glitters. I mean, it's not like those don't even have a binder in them, but I don't reach for them very often. I think I'm a little bit close there, but this here, you guys have seen me mention this probably in all my collection videos. This L'Oreal pigment. Another product that's like 20 years old. The thing is probably got like 1/10 of the jar left. I used to wear this constantly. Just a shimmery, frosty white powder. There's another product. Oh, this was my favorite liquid liner. And then, you know, they stopped making it, but I can't bear to get rid of this packaging. I loved this. Well, with a brush, my fave. Love the packaging. They used to have other colors as well, but yeah, just a real nostalgic one full of old stuff. And then this one right here is basically just like supply stuff. There's Q-tips, makeup wipes in there, magnetic palettes with nothing in them. In here are like pans, little tiny compacts that go to single shadows that are in larger palettes. Kind of just supplies in there. That's a magnetic melt palette. So I did, you know, empty these Victoria Beckham ones. They're in a magnetic palette. A really pretty menagerie dish. And then just like, you know, ton of magnetic palettes and stuff. These are powder containers. A really pretty brush holder that I had this out for a really long time, and then I didn't have the space with how I set it up recently, so it just sits in here. But Sonia G actually sent these to me from Japan, and I've got a holder like this that's holding the Q-tips up on top. And then some Lisa Eldridge pouches that have got some puffs and I think stuff like that in there. So that's what's in that drawer. And then getting to the home stretch, sort of, because this is kind of a big home stretch. This chest is from Pier 1, I think. I have a love-hate relationship with it because it came, one of the drawers doesn't work. It's heavy. It blocks the corners a little bit too much for me. It's kind of hard to kind of get in there, but those are some older things anyway, but still it's just a little bit inconvenient. So down here are some older magnetic palettes, Colored Rain in that one. I've got an old Sephora palette in there. I think one is filled with Gimme Glow. And then if you can see back there, some old Kat Von D. My cat's trying to wipe me out here. She wants to be here too. So I wanted to show you guys, but it's kind of hard for me to get in there. There's some shadows in there that are shaped like kitties. Like the whole shadow is a powdered pressed cat. There you can kind of see those ones. And then moving upwards here, we've got Sydney Grace. I think there is, oh gosh, what's that dupe brand? I can't think of it off the top of my head. I think my head's a little bit fried right now, but Unearthly Cosmetics, Give Me Glow, and some Makeup Forever back there. And then up here, we've got some Norwegian palettes. Those are quite old. Dominique Cosmetics. There's a Cosmic Brushes in there. Lunar Beauty. Sigma. We've got a one size palette. And gosh, I can't remember the name of this brand, but this is a really nice palette that they came out with. Beauty Bakery. Very, very nice. Some P. Louise palettes, and then these are the relaunch singles from Makeup Geek, the newer ones, which this packaging got sticky. And I don't know what happened to them after they came back out with these, which is kind of strange. Nice quality though in there. And then the shelf above that, that's all Jeffree Star. And then we have got Nabla, Lime Crime. Oh, these were so good in their day. And then Shroud Cosmetics. What do I have in this one? I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, these are some Lethal Cosmetics up here because my Lethal Cosmetic palettes are up here. And then this is from Lauder. I'll show it to you guys really quick here. Take the top off. I just think it's just so pretty, and it's up here kind of as decorative. But these are fake flowers coated in blush powder. I don't really use it. When I originally purchased it, I thought that the whole flower was going to be powder, but it's not. It's kind of like that Lancome thing where it's a fake flower coated in powder, but how beautiful is that, right? I'll just set it over here real quick. So we've got Menagerie, Love, Menagerie, and then Lethal Cosmetics right here over this way. I've got some depotted ColourPop in this palette, the little tiny guys. I filled that with those. And then these are the mega ColourPops. These are all ColourPop palettes until right here, kind of the larger ones. And then from here, this way is all Nomad Cosmetics palettes. And I love Nomad Cosmetics, as you can see. And I love ColourPop, as you can see. So that is that shelf right there. And then below that, I do have my perfumes. I kind of have the beachy scents, the kind of warm, sultry kind of scents, and then my gourmand, also kind of warm vanilla scents, sort of. It makes sense in my head how they're kind of laid out. And then this tray is just overloaded anyway. So that's what's in front of these palettes. But we have got Beauty Bay. These are some of the most unique color stories. They were based off of the colors in old school cartoon film, and they are so unique. I was so happy that I picked those up because I don't have a whole lot in my collection like that. And then this is the Nikki Tutorials. I bought a backup of that because I have panned several shadows in that palette. I love that palette. And then we've got some larger ones. I don't know, are these Beauty Bay? I think this is a different brand. Be Perfect are these two in the back. And then we have got Simply Posh right there, which there's a Asian company that makes a lot of indie brands with those type of shadows that are quite popular now. They're not bad shadows, but they're all very similar. Moira, some more BH, no, not BH, but Beauty Bay. Beauty Bay. Violet Voss, Glam Light. I did declutter some of that stuff. And then from here over is all Odin's Eye, which I love. These palettes here, I just got to show you because it is so visually satisfying looking at these. I mean, come on, man. They're so beautiful. I open that sometimes just to look at it. So that's kind of the row behind the fragrances on the dresser. And then up top here are all Huda Beauty. right there, which I'm sad that she quit doing those palettes because they're awesome. Some kind of random loose body kind of powder cardboard deals. And this here is a powder jar, which is just really pretty right there. It just sits up there. And then we've got Besame, Colored Rain, Juvia's Place, and then these right here are Blend Bunny. And then below that, this entire shelf is Morphe. I've got a lot of them. I get a lot of inspiration from the color stories in these. I did declutter some of them, but I still have quite a few. And then below that, it's really hard to kind of get down there. You got M Cosmetics, some larger NYX palettes, some magnetic palettes with some depotted NARS, baked gelée ones, some larger Besame ones. There's an old Laura Mercier baked chest in that box down there, which is awesome. And then a backup of the Beauty Bay and a backup of the Adept Cosmetics palette. I just keep them there because they don't fit in the backup drawer. So those are the shelves that are in the closet right there. And then up on top, we've got the Moschino Bear that Sephora did in collaboration, a Kat Von D set, and that case came autographed. And then I know, like, whatever, all the drama with Kat Von D, but back when, I just have so many feels for it. And these chests, I used to carry one of these around when I would travel. And I think it was the original one right there that I had just used and used and used. But they're so beautiful. I'm on the ground. I have to get a stool to see up top. So this is what you're going to see there. And that's the Game of Thrones Urban Decay collection. I actually got the NPR and I was so excited when I got it. And then there's a cliche lipstick picture right there and some very old Urban Decay palettes right there. I've got all the Book of Shadows except for the original. Like, this here sold out so fast. It was really hard to get your hands on it. They did do another Alice in Wonderland, but this is the original one. I have the other one too, but just so you guys can see it. It's pretty old. And that's the Urban Decay Mother Load. I can't remember how many single shadows are in there, but those are those ones that pop into the palettes that I showed you in the Urban Decay drawer. I did a whole video on that when I got it. I was so excited about it. Still good, you know, and everything like that, but they're quite old. It's like super huge. So I think the last of it would be the chest here, which is a little anticlimactic. This drawer right here are the makeup wipes I use during videos. This is the little Fantasy Cosmetica shadow fixing and depotting kit that I just got, an Empty Peach Perfect, which I want to depot some Huda powder into because I like that container better. What do we have in here? Oh, these are just little perfumes and makeup brushes that I need to wash is kind of how I use that drawer. And then this drawer, ColourPop. So in order to see the back, I have to pull the drawer all the way out, and there's a stopper, so you can't really see how many are in the back, but these are all ColourPop palettes, as well as this drawer right here. This is really satisfying to look at for me, but I did actually declutter some of my ColourPop palettes, but yeah, so these drawers are kind of difficult. And then over here, eyelashes. Primarily Lily lashes. There are some other ones in here as well, but these are kind of the ones that I have in use of different variations. I just try to keep one up on top in the other drawer, and that's just a Auric case. There are lashes in there too, but and then there's a couple Glamlight ones, which were my favorite, but they discontinued them. House of Lashes. Yeah. And then below that one, a lot of really old stuff. Some of these, like this one's not that old, but this is all Kat Von D from here over. And then from this way over is Buxom and Bare Minerals. I did declutter quite a bit of my Bare Minerals, but I still have quite a few color stories in these ones too. Inspirational. I believe I got these ones at the Mall of America. It was part of the holiday collection. So this is what I mean by like an inspiring color story. I just love looking at that. And then some newer Buxom ones, Bare Minerals palettes. The OGs of the OGs back here. Let me grab one. Some of these got sticky, some of them didn't. But she's seen better days. And then I think I mean, I've almost used up some of these, and I've got a backup, I think, of the originals, one of each of the originals. But I used to wear this so much. I have used up one of these. But just like the... Oh gosh, so many memories with this stuff. I just love this drawer. And then the metal matte palette on the side. Just so much goodness in here. These were her kind of duos right there. I used to wear those as super ton. And then the one below that, it's a little bit of a mess. There's some really old stuff in here, but a lot of Chikuhodo brush holders, and some of these still have brushes in them. I've contemplated pulling these out, but they're brand new, never been used, and I do like to use my brushes, but that other drawer is so overloaded. So this is a holiday collection from Chikuhodo that came out a while ago. Just beautiful handles. And then I bought several of these from Toshiya Food Japan as well. Some just beautiful brush sets. I've got backups of ones from Chikuhodo and Beautylish. And then this is, I can't bear to get rid of this. This is the Nars Andy Warhol. That's Sienna Miller for Factory Girl. I can't tell, actually. That might actually be Edie Sedgwick. I think it is. That's not Sienna Miller. But Sienna Miller played Edie Sedgwick in the movie Factory Girl. Anyway, this is the collection tin, and the products came in there. I just love that. Norman Parkinson Charlotte Tilbury makeup bag. Tokidoki that used to be at Sephora. Kat Von D brush set. I actually have 2 of those because I was using those primarily as my brushes. A travel Charlotte Tilbury. These have got my name on them. These are travel Chikuhodo brushes. It's just a really nice little functional set right there. And then I just pulled this out of that drawer to show you guys. This is so old. I got this in Las Vegas. It's Lorac. Like, when you look at the quality now, you're just like, yeah, that's just not doing it. But back then, it wasn't bad. So that's how the... Wait, I think the bottom drawers come out too, right? There's like some face products in there. It is so old. Crazy. Right? And then let's look at these Tokidoki tins once, because these are also super, super old. Oh, yes. I haven't opened this in a while. These here, I probably wouldn't put on my eyes. Very old. Is that not cute? This was, Tokidoki was a brand. I believe it might have been made by Sephora, but they are no longer. And then I think one of them came with like a sheet of magnets that you could like stick on them. Yeah, it was this one. So these are all magnets that you can stick to the tin. And then here are your shadows. And this is like a, I don't know, it feels like a nail buffer, but and a liner. Very, very old, man. And then this drawer here is all Tarte and Sugar Pill. I'll try to pull it out so you can see as much as you can in there. I've got quite a few Tarte palettes. I did declutter quite a few Tarte palettes as well, but kind of some fun ones in there. And then Sugar Pill. I loved these pills from Sugar Pill. They did a Edward Scissorhand collab way back when too. And then this is a limited edition Givenchy. I just didn't know where to put it, honestly. There was room in here. Lipstick case that's got, I believe it's 24 karat gold foil in it. I should probably like buy a lipstick for it, but I just keep it in the box. And then this was sitting out, but it collected dust and I tried to wipe it off. That's why the box looks like that. I did take the pearls out of here. They were the original #1 shade so that I could use them. But I keep this in there. This is a porcelain Guerlain meteorite jar that it's like, you know, kind of delicate. I don't want to drop it. That was the piece that was in between to keep the meteorites in there. And then there was a puff in there. It was like super expensive, but as much as I love the meteorites, I am glad that I have it, and I just keep it in the box to keep it clean. So that is that drawer. And the next 2 drawers I'm going to open real quick and close real quick. because they're kind of a mess. Backup drawers of things. Okay, and again, a backup drawer. This is the broken one. And it came that way. So just a bunch of backups in here of eyeshadow palettes, face powders. As you can tell, I guess we're not supposed to talk about Inslee Rain, but whew, got a couple of those. I got a bunch of Kaleidos in there. A Charlotte Tilbury palette, some face powders, a lot of meteorites. It's kind of hard to see in there, and we're not gonna get too deep. I do have a backup of this Inslee Rain Hedgehog palette. I love that. So, like I said, we're not going to get too deep into that. Rick and Morty. Look how many of these I have. Oh, it's the best. I love that. I've been through an entire one or two of those. One or two. I can't remember. So, we're not going to get too deep into those backup drawers. So that is the chest and the closet, and I know I kind of sped through that a little bit, but that's a whole lot of stuff. And then lastly, to show you guys, I still have these nail polish racks that I spray painted to match the toolboxes. I don't have as much nail polish as I used to have, but I still have some. It's hard to, with the stuff that I do, it's hard to maintain my nails with nail polish because I'm kind of rough on my hands, but... So that is it, friends. That is what she looks like. Let's give you an overview again for fun. I keep my curtains tied because I need to get them hemmed. I just don't want them on the heater, you know. Yep. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.